Hello, everyone. We are back with another episode of Community Connection here at EJ's Fun Crafting. I am Naomi Garcia. I am your coach and just the person who likes to have lots and lots of fun with her crafting and with her community. Today, we have a special guest today. I have for us Miss Jackie Lopez, Mrs. Jackie Lopez. Jackie was actually one of my founding members in my Facebook group. We met on another Patreon page, and we just kind of clicked and with everybody in there, and we've been through several other groups together. And so I wanted to bring her in because Jackie is just amazing. Hey, Jackie.
Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to kind of come and chat in your space. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for all you do. Um, I mentioned that we had met in another group. It's a crafting group, and it's something that we all love because it's actually a paid group. So it's not like you're just in there and like, hey, you're not. No, we're paying for that group. Tell us about the kind of crafting that you like to do, Jackie.
It's so interesting because when I first joined the group, and like you said, it's so fun because now we're in so many cool groups together that we get to see each other everywhere.
Yeah.
But when I first began my journey, I didn't even know about some of the crafts that I love to do today. Like I knew nothing about resin art. I didn't even know that custom tumblers were a thing.
Right.
I joined because I really wanted to be in the space of other like-minded creative people. And at the time, I was just starting to play around with some glitter. I had always sort of been creative in my life, if you will. And a couple of years before, I guess actually, it was the Christmas before I had joined. My husband bought me a Cricut for Christmas and said, "Hey, you've always been creative. This is something I had thought about." And that started off making some custom gifts for my sister-in-law. Had a 30th birthday. That was a big celebration. I wanted to make her something. And I started my very first project. I'll never forget. I used the Cricut to cut some vinyl to celebrate the occasion. Cheers to 30 years. And I used glitter, and back then Mod Podge, to glitter the stems of the wine glasses that I put them on. And it became just a beautiful custom gift for her. And that evolved into first babies and weddings and things.
Yeah.
And at the encouragement of my husband, he really just said, "Why don't you just like give this thing a go?" So when I first started, I was really playing with glitter and glue, if you will. And then in learning from the community and being exposed to other creators, other makers, I've really been able to expand my craft quite a bit into other, like resin art is one of my most favorite things to play with now.
And I see that. I see that through your pages, through your posts and everything. And it's really cool. So you mentioned your glitter, and glitter is really big for you. I know it is because it's not just, and I have some of those wine glasses right there that I made with the stem. There's something else that you glitter, and they're amazing. Tell us about what your other glitter creation.
So again, when I first started, I literally just had glitter and glue. And so taking the wine glasses, I thought, well, what else can I glitter? This is so much fun. So I grabbed an old pair of sneakers that I had laying around that, an old pair of white canvas, basic kind of Walmart like sneakers. And I said, you know what? The sole is in decent shape, but I had the dog drooled up on it or something. And I said, well, let's give this a try. So I had gotten some fancy glitter, had upgraded myself from the craft store glitter to some of the good stuff, the polyester glitters. And
Yeah.
I just took some Mod Podge and I glittered them up. And I was like, wow, this is like really cool. I love this. And so I took the brim of a hat and I glittered that. And I, loving that, just sort of, it gave at the time, my life was very routined. I was still working at my corporate job. It was obvious to me at that point that I was wasting my time there and my life there, that it was never really going to lead me to anything that was either fulfilling or financially supportive in the way that I desired. And so I just started having fun and glitzing up my life in all sorts of different ways. And that really evolved. In the beginning, it skyrocketed my business because no one else was really doing that. No one else was really
Mhm.
glittering sneakers. And I had connected with a maker, a glitter owner who actually had his own adhesive. He had been airbrushing sneakers. And I know
Yep.
he's been featured here in the group as well. He was airbrushing sneakers and custom paint and had added glitter into that. And I was really inspired by that. So I took it to the next level. I got myself some good quality adhesive. I made sure I was using the good quality glitter. But again, it really started with a friend's birthday, special event type inspiration, and it was able to evolve from there. And now I do a good amount of glittered sneakers for bridal parties, for events. I just finished one for a breast cancer survivor. She was celebrating with an amazing photo shoot and wanted a glitzy pair of sneakers to wear. So it's been really fun because not only is it's exciting to me, and it's a fun thing for me to physically do with my hands and see the transformation before my eyes. But the ability to tie in my products to an emotional occasion, a lifetime
Mhm.
event, is really something special to me. It's more than just being a handmade crafter.
I love that. I love that because you're taking, like you said, the fun. You left this job, when you had the opportunity where you had, like you said, it wasn't fun. It was just blah.
Soul sucking is what it was. And I know a lot of people feel that, especially over the last year and a half, the environment that we've been thrust into. A lot of us had a minute to really think about whether or not what we were doing was fulfilling for our soul or completely draining to our soul. And I got fired from the job, which was not something that I expected. But
Hmm.
when I did, having looked back at the seeds I was planting, the relationships that I had been building along the way, and the encouragement of the people around me, of incredible friends like you who were like, "Hey, we've got you, sister. You've got the support of community. You've got the
Hmm.
inspiration of incredible people. Bet on yourself. Go for it."
There you go.
And having no job, it seemed obvious to just go in on my handmade business, stop sort of dabbling around and sticking a toe in and trying it, and really committing to doing it as a business, the same way as if that you would have gone and rented a brick and mortar store in your local town and opened up shop. A lot of times I think we take the internet for granted because we
Hmm.
think, oh well, it's so easy. It's
Hmm.
so easy, it's free, it's so simple to do.
Yeah.
But so many of us don't really think about it from the same perspective. If you were actually opening a store, what would your marketing look like? How would you brand it? What are your business policies? Like things like that.
Hmm.
Um, that sort of helped me to align that in more of a business perspective for me to set myself up for success.
So you went from motion, just doing things, to actually action, and
Yes.
that's what's made the difference. I'm sure I can see that.
Yeah. And one of the things for me too, at that point, I needed to start to control my sales. And so this is something that I see, and I'm sure you see as well with your clients, is that we have friends and family that come to us. They love to support us, which is incredible. And they need a custom gift. And so we're on it. We're happy to
Yeah.
do that. Right. But when you're out on your own with no paycheck, and you're relying on your business to eat,
Yeah.
um, that becomes unsafe feeling. That's how it felt to me. It felt
Right.
unsafe for me to just rely on orders when they kind of came in. And so again, that left me looking at my business and what I wanted from it. And then I started to build collections, which
Mhm.
were my own curated group of like themed products, that I was able to create from my heart, where I was at the time. The first collection was the glitter collection. Can you
Mhm.
believe it? Right?
No.
Like, can you believe it? But it very much consisted of glittered sneakers, glittered hats, glittered wine glasses. I think there were a couple of makeup bags in there with like a sequined one side, and I did something on the,
Mhm.
it was very much in alignment with what I was feeling and where I was at the time. But having released this now group of product, I allowed my store to be open.
Yeah.
We were able to like officially cut the ribbon and open up shop because now people had something to come and buy from me, not just, oh, look through my album of inspiration and let me know
Right.
when you've got an event coming up, sort of thing. So that was another way that I was able to really elevate my business and create some order and structure
Mhm.
around my sales.
I think that's important. I think that's what a lot of us miss too. Like going from hobbyist to okay, I'm not just like you said.
I'm in this.
I'm
This
talking about
is
this money.
how
This is
we're
a
eating.
business. Yes. We like you said. Okay, we'll wait for the sales to come in, or oh, people know I do this. People know I can make that. They'll ask me. But you're right. Without structure, without a plan, we're planning to actually fail. We sabotage ourselves sometimes without having something there. So where has Jackie Lopez Designs taken you now? Where are you in your business now?
So I was able to continue to grow collections. I
Mhm.
offer them now locally in a local metaphysical and crystal shop nearby me. Um, and I've been able to step away in some way from the one-off custom orders and
Mhm.
shift my business into what I call private label merchandising. And so basically, while I was still in the phase of doing everything for everyone and learning what crafts and creations I really loved to do. Because we all have our favorites, right?
We
Who
do.
loves to
We
make
do.
t-shirts? Like, I love to make t-shirts. I love to do the design work of that. Um, some people love to do tumblers. Some people, I know you're a very talented paper crafter, like all the different things that we could be doing. And so while I was still learning about what it is that I wanted to do and focus on in my business, I had a friend come to me and say, hey, I just got this new snazzy logo for my business and I would love to build that out into a line of t-shirts. And so
Ooh.
in the beginning, I said, yeah, send me the logo. Well, and it was a combination of the logo design and other empowering phrases. And what she did was send them as a gift to her one-on-one coaching clients who were paying in full. So she would sign a new client, they would pay in full, and she would send, I think she did it for pay plan clients too, but she would send them out a t-shirt. But because at the time she was living in the remote village somewhere in the mountains of Italy because her husband is a champion Olympic skier,
Oh
me
wow.
making t-shirts, yeah, pretty cool,
Wow.
right? Me making t-shirts and sending them to Italy and then her sending them off to, her clients, which at the time
Everywhere. Yeah.
were largely in New Zealand and Australia where she was from, wasn't really doable. So I said, I don't have a problem shipping them directly, drop shipping them, if you will.
Yeah.
And in the moment, I was just a girl making t-shirts. But in the grand scheme of things, that really set me up for the private label merchandising business that I have now, which focuses more on supporting entrepreneurs and along their business journey than the one-off sort of retail customer. And it's been an interesting shift because I had to learn to say no to people, which the people pleaser in me hurt my heart, right?
Hurts.
That
Yes.
that I
Yes. Hurt.
can do something, I'm just not going to.
Mhm.
And there was a little bit of work to do around that. I think sometimes as crafters, we feel guilty. We feel like we owe people something because I should, and
Mhm.
society imposes a lot of that on us. And so it was a great opportunity for me to really look at my business and my personal standards and boundaries
Right.
and hold the line, if you will.
It's true. One of my favorite sayings, a quote I came across a few years ago, says you can be a good person with a good heart and still say no. And that stuck with me because it touched me. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And
personal.
I know for me, when and to anyone out there who's still juggling, a full-time job and a home and parenting and a relationship and like all the things, it's very easy to lose ourselves in that mix. And
Mhm.
the more we say yes to things and people when our heart really means no, I feel like it just eats away at us. And what happens one day is you either have that come to Jesus moment, right? Where you're like, this was me. I kind of just looked around one day and was like, this is not what I had in mind.
Yeah.
This is my life. Like, interesting. Not what I was thinking. And that I threw myself into personal development at that point, which is largely what led
Yes.
me to groups like the ones that
Yes.
we met in. And so it's all, of course, a part of the journey. But supporting ourselves is part of the journey too. You're not just growing a business. You have to support your business while supporting your human.
There you go.
And I think that especially when we're in the grind, when we're in those startup moments where we're hustling through, and anybody who's hustled through a holiday season knows there's a time and place for hustle. 100%. I have a sign right here on my wall. It says hustle, but we aren't built to hustle long term.
Long term.
We can hustle for short bursts to get the project done, to get through the holiday season, to fulfill the obligations we've already agreed to. Of course, be a woman of integrity and do those things. But we're not meant to live our lives that way. And so many of us, when we've got all the hats on, we feel like we have to take all of that on and do it well. And so many of us are not good at asking for help, even though we desperately need it. And it really, not supporting the human is not supporting your business, because you cannot have a successful business without having a successful human. And I've seen this myself play out. Business is doing great, except life around me is falling to pieces. My husband and I aren't talking. No one's fed. There's dishes in the sink. The house is a mess. Like, is that worth having a successful business?
Get out of my house right now. You got cameras in my house, don't you?
I'm telling you, girlfriend, like, been there, done that. And one of the things that I love to do and show other people is, and to be that example of what is possible, is having been through that and lived through that life. I can tell you, you deserve better. And we do it to ourselves because we often don't know better. We don't realize, we don't catch ourselves in the habit, putting ourselves first is really hard to do a lot of times. And I see you, I feel you, I witness any of you who are watching this that are like, you're damn right it is hard when you have little people screaming at you and things that have to get done. I feel you. I really do, because the go-getter in me will work all the time. I love it. I love my work. So I will throw myself knee deep into that. But it wasn't until I really started supporting my human that I allowed my business to expand and up level to new levels of freedom, to trading less time for money, to being less overwhelmed, overworked. And in the end, I'll let you know, if you haven't been there yet, like, jump to the end of the story, is that you get resentful in the end. Yeah. Have you been there, Naomi?
No, yeah. You're upset. You're like, man, I did all this for everybody else. Yeah. What, like you said, this is not what I imagined.
And it might even get worse, where you'll feel resentful of your clients because you're not charging your worth. You're putting in a ton of time and effort, and you're not being compensated.
And you're smiling at them, and inside you're going, if I ever have an order from you again,
never come back, please. Right?
Yes.
Nobody wants to be resentful of our clients. That is certainly not putting the message out, happy, thank you, more please, right? We're not going to get more clients by being resentful of our clients. And also, the people at home that are taking care of will turn around and say, they never asked you to do it. Any of it.
Yeah.
Right? So now we're frazzled, we're overworked, we're feeling resentful in our business. We want to burn the whole thing to the ground. And all the people around you are going, what is your problem? No one asked you to do any of this.
And you're thinking, all we had to do in the end, like you said,
was ask for help.
Ask for help.
Support our human. What do you need? What do you want? What do you need? And I know as women, as mothers, as wives, as employees, as business owners, some of us have not asked ourselves that question in a really long time. But it's really important that your business be fun. It's really important that you don't dread going into your studio every day.
It's in my name. It's in my name. Fun.
And so if your business isn't feeling fun, that is a clear sign to pivot, to take a look at what we're doing and what's working. Take note of that. What is not working? Definitely take note of that as well. And then look, what can we do differently? It's your business. It's my business. And you know what? There were some people that were like, so I can't come to you for my kid's birthday party t-shirt that you've been doing for 5 years anymore. No, and so what I did in order to still be able to support, what I did to try to support them and do it in a way that felt good to me, because again, I need to support my human in this. And if I feel guilty and like, those are not good feelings to move forward in, I went and found some local people and some people in the online community as well that I could refer my business to. That I could say, you know what, I cannot unfortunately do that for you, but I have a trusted resource for you to go to, somebody who is going to for sure take care of you. And that to me is living the community over competition as well.
It really is. And it's you asking for help. And that's a way of asking for help
It is.
right
It
there.
is. You're right. You're so right. It is.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm in a mini seminar right now. Like I'm in a
I love it.
seminar and I'm like, so
Welcome to my TED Talk.
there,
Welcome to
and
your
you'll
TED
totally do
Talk.
one one day. I know you'll totally do one day. So here's the thing. All of that you're talking to me about and that you're talking to us, not me, because you're talking to I feel like but you're talking to all of us right now that are listening, that are tuning in and that will listen to this later. This is just a snippet of what Jackie lives this, guys. Jackie lives this. Jackie talks this. But you have this somewhere. Tell us about where we
I
can
do.
find this.
When I sort of had that come to Jesus moment at work where I looked around and thought, ugh, this is not what I was looking forward to.
Uh-huh.
I had this desire to really build a brand, right? Build this business up.
Mhm.
And I didn't know what I was going to call it. I didn't know. And it's totally my like green, yellow personality type, right? Where I want to know the things. I want to know the how. I want to know the whole plan before I say yes or no, right? And I just didn't know what I would do. And one night, in the middle of the night, I literally woke up and said, "Get it together, girl." And a brand was born. And I created a Facebook group. That's how it all started, where I literally began to live that out loud, that I committed to myself. I was putting it out there to anyone else who was interested and who was into personal development and really just wanted to be the better version of themselves, right? You're perfect and divine and incredible just the way you are, but that doesn't ever mean that there isn't something better for us, right? It's always this or something better in my mind. So I created Get It Together Girl. And it was a space where I could come in my own little private curated container because I wasn't ready to live this out loud with my cousins and my aunts and uncles and people I went to high school with and anybody who might have been on my friends list. So I took it to a private group and I opened up the Get It Together Girl community and I invited people in who wanted to witness the journey, get on board the train. And it's been a place now where I literally get to live that out loud. It's an amazing space for me to have the accountability. It's a great way for me to look back on my journey. And along the way, I love to share what I've learned, right? If I can help one woman facilitate her journey that much faster, skip those
Mhm.
bends and hurdles and move right to happy, successful, overjoyed and loving life. I feel like it's a soul's mission that really is so much deeper than being able to provide beautiful products. And one of the things I say is I create beautiful products for beautiful people. But if I could also be an example of what's possible, that your little handmade business can support your family, that it can make 5 figures a month and 6 figures a year from your home-based business, that gets me up in the morning. That is a thing that I just can never get enough of.
And that is truly because you're not keeping it to yourself. That is, like you said, you are living the community and the collaboration over competition. And for that, I'm sure many of us, me and myself included, and many others, thank you for that. So
My
Get It
pleasure.
Together Girl, is that it? Is that on Facebook?
Yeah, so we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram as well. It started as wealth, wellness, and winning at life, right? And so wealth, of course, is
Hmm.
I felt like in my corporate job, I was making a ton of money and I never had any. So I started looking
Hmm.
at budgeting. I found Dave Ramsey and I went through his Financial Peace University program. We paid off like $3,000 worth of debt, got rid of a ton of like store credit cards so that I could go to
Hmm.
Macy's and buy fancy we really got accountable with our money and learned about what being a good steward of money was and learned a little bit more about money mindset and
Hmm.
how some of the reflections in my bank account were a result of the behaviors that started up here.
Right.
Some of the things that you're exposed to as a child, and I was carrying around stories that were my parents' stories for years, but I had adopted them as my own. So like that was the wealth aspect of it. Wellness was I had found a network marketing company with some health and wellness products that really changed my life. And so if I could share that experience with one person in a way that felt good, that wasn't like, hey, I need 15 people to join my team, I was happy to talk about it. And so we did things like water challenges. And I actually, there was a moment in time where I thought maybe I would be a health coach because I really did have such incredible results. So if you're interested in joining the Get It Together Girl community, we would of course love to have you. In there still is, and some of it is slightly embarrassing at moments, but we love the journey and all the pieces of it. There's a 30-day or 21-day butts and guts challenge where I came up with workout plans and exercise, meal preps, and whether you wanted to build a booty or shape the one that you had, we had a plan for you. We talked about things like good fats and bad fats and I mean all the things like, and after I did it, I said, you know what? This is not for me. But I left the information in the community because it was so valuable. And I left it there as an example for me that I can show up and do the things I say I'm going to do, that I can do hard things. Right. And so that evolved. And now that space looks more like one of mindset and business growth, where that sort of has shifted our focus as I've shifted towards private label, where I'm really supporting entrepreneurs both in my coaching and mentorship opportunities and some coaching programs that I do, but also in the private label merchandise. Now the space looks like master classes every so often, where we talk about specific business related things, going all in your business, really selling from your soul so you don't feel salesy, because that's one of the things that I hear a lot of people talk about. Things that are really crafted to the needs of a handmade business owner. And of course, some of the things I teach are super relevant to network marketers and other business owners as well. But because that is my heart, that is my journey, that's where, and I feel like that's where I offer the most value, because in a lot of instances, I have been there. I've tried it. I've thrown that spaghetti at the wall, and I'm happy to, use that expertise to help people sort of hone in, shine a light on those spaces that sometimes we don't even realize are dark and holding us back from growing the way that we want to. And sometimes it's just simply getting people to think about what it is that they want and their desires, because in a lot of instances, like we talked about, that has almost been stripped of us unknowingly.
Right. And we don't know. We have to stop. Other people can identify for us, but we can't identify for ourselves. And so that's important.
For sure.
Well, everyone, we've taken a lot of Jackie's time, but I'm so happy. I could stay here forever with her.
So much fun. It is so my pleasure. I love, love, love to come and chat, and I love to be in your energy, and just, being able to kind of share a little bit about me and my heart to your community means the absolute world to me, that you think of me that way. So it's been absolutely my pleasure to be here.
Always. If anyone would like to find Jackie, please look on. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. She's under Jackie Lopez Designs, as well as
Get It Together Girl.
Get It Together Girl.
Yeah, and anybody who would love to connect, I would love to. I'm always happy to connect with other like-minded people. So if you're vibing here, if it feels aligned to you, if you want to send me a friend request, please feel free to do that. If you want to just go to my profile and scope around about me, go do that too. That's fine.
And it's right there, and you'll see it. She's wearing what you're wearing in your profile picture. I think you've got on black, like a black outfit. So
yeah, but you'll see the Get It Together Girl banner there, and if they click on it, there's a link to the group as well. And like I said, if they want to just kind of scope around and check me out, that's totally cool too. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for being with us, Jackie, and we look forward to seeing you again. I've got more in mind for you from the group, so I'm hoping that we can connect again very soon.
I would love that. All right. Thank you, my sweet friend. Mwah.
All right. Everyone have a good one, and we'll see you at the next interview. Bye.